Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. This is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Tonight we're going to talk about crap tests, S-tests. Women, the little tests that women give you to see how interested you are in them and how kind of who's in control of the relationship, like who has more power if you're putting her up on a pedestal or if you're being challenging. And the reason why this is important is because, number one, it comes into effect between your interactions with women. If you're dating, it's one of the reasons why I stopped dating, because it's one of those things that never, ever goes away. Now, does it after multiple years of marriage? Yes, I'm sure it does. I know my mother doesn't do this to my father anymore. But even in my year, 2-year, 3-year relationships, it still occurred. And I think it's a way that a woman will take a temperature of the relationship. It's also one of the things that comes into effect when you first interact with a woman and she wants to gauge your interest. It's one of the things that these, quote, bad boys do or don't do, is they don't give a crap about the question. They kind of blow her off and they show that they're not interested in what she thinks of them or if she's judging them. They don't care. And so it's one of the biggest things, the best takeaway, I think, whether you're still trying to date, whether you're still trying to interact with women, and if you do want to date, I'm going to read from a kind of a pickup guide, I guess you'd call it, better than anything else. I'm going to read a little bit from this page. It's something the pickup community actually has right. Now, I'm not into the, hey, let me do this game and gauge interest and then do this and jumping through all the hoops and take her, moving from this location. I'm just not all into the pickup stuff. Now, for some guys, it works. But if there's anything to take away from this type of community, this would be the takeaway that will probably not only help you in your dating strategies if you still have some, but also it'll kind of, it's a good mentality to have even if you're not dating, even if you're single and you're just rolling through life as a single guy. It's still a good mentality to have on anything that anybody challenges you on. So let's get recording here and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to refer to this as an S-test all the way throughout, because obviously if I say the word, and I'm not going to call it a crap test all the way through because I feel like I'm a 6-year-old. So the pickup guide, the S-test guide, what they are and how to pass them. Anyone who's been involved in pickup game recently knows about the phenomena of S-tests. They say they're snide little remarks that women throw at you to test you. They're not necessarily that. They're challenges. That's the best way to take them is they're a challenge. And they're it's not a remark. It's a test to see how much you place value in her. They say depending on how you react, she'll either become completely disinterested with you to some degree, or she'll take note and start to view you as a strong alpha male. Again, to varying degrees. Most guys fail these tests from women miserably, which is true, and they have poor results with women to show for it. Once you know how to pass them, however, you'll notice that your success rate with women will skyrocket, which is also false. It will improve slightly. Nothing helps you skyrocket your success unless you walk around with a winning lottery ticket sticking out of your pocket. They say it's a snide little remark to test you. They're a quick way for women to screen and tell if you're actually as confident as you're acting or if you're secretly a little bee. Now, I'll say this too: in a relationship, women will also do it, and I'll tell you the relationship and how it's one of the things that made me decide to stop dating. Is that, for example, I'm sitting on the couch. Girlfriend of a year and a half is next to me. We're watching a movie, and she goes, "Hey, will you grab me a popsicle or an ice cream bar?" So I don't remember exactly what it was. And I said, I don't want one. Like, I'm good. And she says, "Yeah, just will you grab me one?" And I'm like, "Why don't you grab it?" She says, "I'm comfortable." I said, "So am I." Wait, let me check. And I pretended to reach in my pocket, and I went like this. I went, "Oh, my Bachelor card is expired. I'm sorry. I was going to do it for you, but my Bachelor license is expired. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't serve you hand and foot." Get it yourself. So she got up, and I said, hey, while you're up, grab me one too. And she turned around and she gave me crap like, well, if you wanted, I said, no, I didn't want one, but since you're already there. And so we had this little back and forth on it, and my whole point to her was, look, if I were getting up getting something, I'm happy to grab you something too, because I'm already doing it for myself. Grabbing a drink and then one extra for you while I'm right here, no problem. When you ask me to get up and get you something because you're comfortable and you're basically asking me to be your butler, completely different. Well, that's a test. That's a test just to see, I wonder if they'll do it. And I did a video on how women are, the more miserable their guy is in a relationship, the happier a woman is, because if he shares his feelings, it shows that he's invested in the relationship. Well, when you don't do as she asks and you don't jump through these hoops and you pass her little tests, you're showing you're not overly committed in the relationship and you still have pride in yourself. But when you're meeting somebody new, it's a good way to gauge, like, I can pretend and come across confident, but they'll kind of poke at you a little bit to see how confident you are. So here's some common tests they say. She'll say, sorry, I don't sleep with guys under 6 foot. You have moobs, which I guess are man bobs. You must have a really small D, or you're balding. Generally speaking, any insult about your appearance is a test, an S test, if you're hitting on a girl. Girls care very little about appearance and much more about your game and status, which I also disagree with. Because let's face it, there's video upon video of guys making fake profiles on Tinder, and they get tons of responses no matter what awful things they say. Now, when you're in the real world talking to real people, I'm 5'7", I am bald, and I've never really had any problems dating. Why? Because when I talk to somebody, I don't care. The difference is, it's not like I have to think my way through this. I genuinely don't give a crap what they think about me. So when they come across with little jibes or I just give it right back to them. But when you do care, and when it hurts your feelings, when you talk to, maybe if you're flirting with a girl or even talking to a coworker or whoever it is, and when they give you a little insult and it hurts your feelings, that means you're not very confident in yourself. And they can see that, and they will gauge you based upon that. And this is a good gauge for you guys that say, but I'm not dating, is if people can insult you and say things about you and you genuinely don't care what they think, you're doing the right thing. You're at a good start. So why do women test you? Most guys don't understand why women test them, but it's because they want to know if you're truly as confident as you seem. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You go to a nightclub, you're having a pretty good time, you're dancing, vibing to the sound of Calvin Harris's deep bass, and suddenly a stunning girl catches your eye. After lots of internal struggle, you work up the courage to go talk to her. The walk towards her is agonizing. Your fear of rejection is slowly creeping up. Finally, you open her and ask for her name. She says, sorry, I only talk to hot guys, she says. You walk away feeling completely rejected and wallow in self-pity for the rest of the night. That, my friends, with an S test, and you just failed it. And I agree. For example, if a woman says, sorry, I only talk to hot guys, I would have said, yes, and that's why I came over to talk to you. And smile. Now, she could have said, well, you're not hot. And I'd say, oh, I didn't realize you forgot your glasses tonight. Well, good luck. And you move on. But the whole point is you have a flippant, nonchalant way of showing, I don't care what you think. You can try to insult me, but I'm too awesome for that. The thing is, it doesn't even have to be good. You just have to be committed to it to just show that you don't care what they say. A lot of guys may get angry when they first realize that women test men. What bees, the newbie may sprout, or that's so mean. Or even worse, sometimes they can't even accept it. Don't get mad. The reason women test men is because they have to. This is how they figure out if you're actually confident or not. Now, here's the thing. If a woman has on a lot of makeup, a lot of you guys, and myself included, say, I wonder what she looks like with all that makeup taken off. And you want to take off the makeup. A good way to do that's a sauna, hot tub, swimming pool, a beach kind of date. See if she'll swim, etc. If she does and she takes that off, you want to know what she really looks like. This is kind of the same thing when a guy is acting confident and challenging and cocky. This is her way to say, oh, I want to see if this is real. And so she does it. Now, this goes through and kind of gives some more examples. But where I wanted to jump over, because that's a pickup site, but let's go over here to Psychology Today. Stop testing your partner. And this is as of October 19th, 2020. This is a couple days old. So it's not just the guy community. Women do this all through your relationship in many cases. And again, the longer the relationship, the less this happens. But this is going to occur anytime she has doubt as to the status of the relationship, or if she wants to be with you, or if she's met somebody else she thinks is interesting and she's trying to gauge how things are going. This is always just a little test to see how into her you are. So this is Tina Gilbertson, and it says, stop testing your partner. You'll set yourself up for disappointment. Now, obviously, she's talking to women in this article. Sonia and Martin, not their real names, have been dating for 6 months, and Martin has shown himself to be a lover and a loving and thoughtful partner. Sonia wants to register the two of them Wednesday night salsa class, but she knows Martin plays poker with his friends on Wednesdays. Sonia's nervous about asking Martin to skip poker night, but she tells herself that if the relationship is important to him, he'll want to make the sacrifice. When she gets the courage to mention the class, Martin predictably balks at the Wednesday night time slot. Sonia hears herself accuse him of being immature and selfish, and their first serious argument ensues. Does this sound familiar, guys? I'm going to go out with the guys. Well, yeah, but what about, but I needed your help, and I don't go out with the guys very often. This happens once a month. Give me the night. Yeah, but it's always a test. It's always a challenge. They say, what's really going on here? What's the salsa class so important to Sonia? It's not. It's just a test. They say it's a setup. Sonia knows that Wednesday nights are the only time that Martin spends with his friends. Why is she disgruntled when he doesn't immediately agree to drop poker for salsa? Read, for her. When she recognizes it or not, Sonia feels insecure. She's testing Martin. If he had to choose, would he choose her over his friends? It's a gauge to see how interested or how much value are you choosing her over your friends. Now, the answer to this question should always be, always choose your friends if you're dating. Now, if this is your wife and all that, then you got to talk about it. But the problem is she knows your night is Wednesday night with the guys, and she decides, now guess what? I'm pretty sure they probably have salsa classes at other studios or other places that if it's really important to her, she could find a different night to do it on. That's what she should. Because if she values you, then she will know that that your friend's night out with your friends is important to you. So then I would reverse it back and say, this is important to me. Why aren't you valuing my time with my friends enough to accept that? You see how it's got to be a two-way street. It can't always be, well, the guy did this. No, she asked in the first place when she should have found a different night. They continue on. Whether she recognizes it or not, Sonia feels insecure. If she pushes him and he agrees to spend Wednesday nights with her, then she thinks she'll feel more confident in his love and commitment. If not, she'll continue to feel insecure in the relationship. In forcing him to make this choice, Sonia has set them both up for failure. And this is what I was talking about in that video I did before about women like to see their men suffering and women are happier when the man is miserable, when men are happier when the woman is happy. So women are always trying to put them in a crisis moment to test the love, where men are always trying to make her happy to show his love. And that's a huge difference. Again, all these things are they happen in relationships, and you have to know either how to navigate them, or you have to understand they're going to happen no matter what. In every relationship, they happen to a degree, and you have to say, I've had enough of this. I'm not into relationships. I'll give you one more personal example, because this has happened many, many times to me, but I'm trying to show you ways that I've handled it, and it's worked out well. When I was in the Philippines, I was dating a girl there for about 2 months. And she was upset about, we were out to go snorkeling with whales. They were some sort of shark. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. Whale shark. That was it. Why that was leaving my head, I don't know. We were supposed to go snorkeling with whale sharks. We're waiting in line. I did something that upset her, and I said, what is your problem? And she just refused to talk to me. And I said, look, I'm not going to sit here all day. If you're going to be miserable, if you're going to be like this, I'll leave. I'll go get a cart back into town, and I'll go do something else. And she didn't answer me. So I grabbed my stuff. I put it in my backpack, put it on my shoulder, and started walking out. I almost made it out to the main road, and she came running up to me crying, saying, I can't believe you'd leave me. I said, I told you. If you didn't, right? Okay. The thing is, if I had said, what's wrong? You're going to lose. It's her way of gauging your value. You never, ever give it. Just walk away if this kind of stuff keeps happening. Testing creates what we fear, they say. Martin is unlikely to agree that spending time with his friends on Wednesdays has anything to do with his love for her. He could also understand viewing Sonia's request as proof of Sonia's lack of love for him. Why would somebody who loves him begrudge him one weekend to see his friends? By setting up the bogus test of his affection, Sonia alienates Martin. She creates the very distance in the relationship that she fears. If you find yourself testing your partner like this, recognize the behavior for what it is. You're trying to find more security in your relationship. There's nothing wrong with that. But setting up tests creates unnecessary conflict. Even if your partner goes along with everything you want him or her to do, slavish obedience is not ultimately what you're seeking. Right, because that makes women unhappy, because now they're like, well, he does everything I want. He's a nice guy. He's boring, and I want the challenging bad boy. So she leaves. And they give you the solution. Talk to your therapist, because we all have a therapist, in the next room. Keep it healthy and positive by taking responsibility. Basically, just say, hey, I'm feeling, and this would be what I tell women. I don't do this if you're men. Men do not do this. If you're a woman, say, I'm not feeling very secure about this. I feel that I want more attention, or I feel that you don't care about me. And if you're in a long-term relationship, the guy should say, of course I care about you. Me going out with friends has nothing to do with you. It just means I want to spend time with my friends. And he may even relate to all the times he's treated you well. But if you're in a short-term relationship, ladies, and you do this is a way that a guy will go, peace out. No, I don't need all this stuff. Like, no, I'm not jumping through any hoops for you. And guys understand this is going to happen in every relationship, a lot in the beginning. And the best way, and this is why I say, he who cares he who cares the least wins. That whoever cares the least in a relationship is the one ahead. Because if the man cares the most, she has the most power. And if she cares the most, he has more power. All these dynamics fall into healthy, let me correct that. All these dynamics fall into almost every relationship you have. They are not healthy. And for a lot of people, it's hard to get away from. The problem is dating today, you get into this stuff all the time. And for a lot of guys, myself included, we just say, I don't want the games. I want somebody that I can hang out with, I can appreciate. We have intimacy, we have fun, we have laughs, we enjoy doing things together, and we just accept each other for who they are. But that doesn't really exist much anymore. That's why short-term seems to work very well, because then when you get tests like this, it's not the person that's sharing your bed or lives in the same place as you or someone that you're married to. You just go, I've got 15 other... Now, even if you don't, you just say, I've got 15 other people I could be dating other than you. I don't need this stuff. I thought I was being cool and choosing you, and we were going to spend some time together. But if you're going to be like this, and even if you don't have other people to date, you say, you know what? I'd rather be alone than date somebody that's going to be crap testing me or S-testing me all the time like this. And you leave, because your time is more valuable to be tested constantly. And the more confident you are in yourself and the more insecure she is in the relationship, the more this will happen. And the way you pass these tests is by not taking part of the tests. I don't date bald guys. Okay, well, so what? And just walk away. Be done with it. No matter what she says. Doesn't matter. Guys, if you'd like to support my work, links are below as always. If you have, thank you very much. Best way you can support me is like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out my older videos and join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com for the forums, and I post my videos over there as well. And a great way to kind of stay active in the forums and things like that. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. This is Better Bachelor. I'm Joker. Remember, you're going to get tested like this, whether it's relationship, whether it's friends, you're going to get little tests like this. You're going to have to understand that if it's an important guy friend of yours and you do care about him, he's not testing you. He's just needing your help or asking you to change your plans. But if it's coming from a woman that's interested in you or you're dating, there's going to be these tests. And you can either pass them, or you can walk away, or you can pass them by walking away.